Oh boy, we have no time to waste. We have to get into this right now. Things are getting crazy. Hey, what's up everyone, it's SpeedSuperSonic for guys, another video. In this video today, we have a massive video, definitely one of the biggest, if not the biggest news video of the year, because we have some breaking news, some massive stuff is coming out of nowhere that is approaching literally so soon, under like 48 hours from now. Massive things are going to happen. What's going on, Ricardo? You probably might have been seeing this around the Sonic community lately. Things are getting big. Sonic Generations, that's what we're here to talk about today. Massive news is coming out about this game. Now, I might be saying Sonic Generations, Ricardo. I'm not sure if you know this, but Sonic Generations came out in 2011. Well, you would be correct. But it's no surprise that Sega has massively been pushing Sonic remasters, Sonic remakes. Not actually, they still won't do that. But remasters have been very popular with them as of late. Sonic Colors Ultimate got released in 2021, and we've been dealing with a bunch of those mediocre Sonic Origins releases since. They have been really pushing and have made comments on wanting to do more remasters for the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. And something that we discussed on this channel pretty frequently is, I feel like the natural place to go after Colors would be the game after Colors, and that would be Generations. Generations is now over 10 years old. It's approaching its 15th anniversary. That's crazy to say, but it's the truth. Now, I think Generations holds up very well, but it looks like Sega is looking to get a remaster of this thing out in the form of Sonic Generations Ultimate, or whatever they may call this. Sonic Generations Ultimate, or some kind of remaster, is going to be announced at the PlayStation State of Play this Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. That's crazy. That's wild. I can't believe it. And I might be saying, you're talking about this very definitively, Ricardo. Nothing has been confirmed by Sega. Why are you speaking on this with such authority? And that's because this is just almost everything is pointing towards this being true. Today we're going to be taking a look at this article from comicbook.com. They gave us some insight into this new Sonic Generations Ultimate that's coming out through a very, very reliable leaker. Let's dive into this. Sonic Generations rumor claims remaster could be announced this week. In 2011, Sega released Sonic Generations on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC. The game featured two different versions of the Blue Blur and a story that featured time travel. After a handful of rough entries, Sonic Generations was well received by fans and critics. It seems the game could be making some kind of comeback on modern platforms. Reliable leaker, I'm not even going to pronounce that, we're just going to call him Nick, has been tweeting about a PlayStation State of Play that will apparently take place this week. In one of his tweets about this presentation, Nick offers some hints about the games that will be featured, noting that Sonic will live in the shadow of his generation. Here is the tweet right here. On the 31st, roughly, Ronus will rise, will die stranded, have a rebirth, and Kojima will fulfill his dream. Sonic will live in the shadow of his generation, while the hills will remain silent until the dawn, when you'll need to catch the metro. Just don't be a Judas about it. It's worth noting that Nick accurately leaked several games that were at the State of Play in September of 2023. In tweets prior to the show, the leaker mentioned games including Baby Steps, Foam Stars, and Tales of Arise. While readers should still take this information with a grain of salt, that track record makes it very plausible that we'll see a remaster or remake of Sonic Generations announced. This is massive news. Like they said, this guy put this out before it was announced that there would be a State of Play, and like I mentioned this Wednesday, it is Monday right now, so yes, it is very, very close. At 2 p.m. Pacific time, we will be getting the announcement for Sonic Generations Ultimate. I'm just gonna call it that for the rest of the video. It's now announced. It's confirmed. It's happening. He put this out before it was announced. It's all but confirmed at this point. And with him already giving details on games that were in previous states of plays, this is just, like I said, all but confirmed at this point. It's massive news. If we're going to decipher what he said in particular, specifically this quote of Sonic will live in the shadow of his generation, Sonic Generation, and live in the shadow is interesting because there is a lot of talk of Shadow being featured in this game kind of heavily because of his lack of, presence in the original Generations, only being like a rival boss fight. It's very likely that we'll be able to play as him as like a skin, basically, like they did in like Forces or something. But that is not all we have to talk about because our great friend Zippo has returned with more information on this game. Now, to clarify, he put this out after this, info came out from Nick. So like Zippo could be just writing the coattails of this reliable leaker, and some of the stuff he says in here is interesting, so without any further ado, let's just at least see what he has to say. Yes, a Sonic Generations remaster is on the way. Well, this week certainly started off with a boom. A Sonic boom, perhaps. Come on, man. Get some better jokes. Bad puns aside, multiple sources have leaked the entire state of play days before its airing date. Can't confirm the other contents myself, but yes, a remaster of 2011's beloved Sonic Generations is on the way for this year. Here's the bits I know. It's a remaster from the ground up. It's now running on Hedgehog Engine 2, so that's very big. The console versions will now run at 60 frames per second with the option for 4K. Definitely think that was needed, so that's awesome to know. There's been a very strong internal mandate from Sega higher-ups to improve the quality of Sonic remasters from now on, so knock on wood, no Colors Ultimate and Origins mishaps this time. That's huge. That's big. There's been a lot of talk about like how underwhelming both of those titles were, and regardless of what you may think of them, the fan base did not receive those very well. I think both of those games received like decent critic scores and like they sold decent as well, but the fan base was not happy at all, and definitely there was like need for improvement with both of those, specifically Origins in my opinion. I think that, you know, Colors Ultimate kind of got screwed over by its like early access almost, to where like people were able to find so many bugs before the patch. And the overall game itself, if you play it right now, it's fine, but still it obviously could have improvements as well. But let's read more. There is brand new content featuring Shadow, so that's probably what like the whole living in his shadow or whatever from the quote will release in the first half of the year, sometime around Sonic's 33rd birthday in June. Now this is the biggest one, and just to get ahead of all of the speculation, no, this is not the Sonic/Shadow game I'm hearing about. That's a brand new game coming this holiday in time with the movie. That'll be announced later on this year. That's also very big, and that's also very good to know. So we got a lot to dig into, a lot to discuss, just so much like to talk about, because this is a lot. First things first, we got a new Sonic game announcement coming up on Wednesday. That's big. We're going to be streaming this event, so subscribe if you aren't subscribed already, because our live reaction to this thing is going to be absolutely crazy, and we're going to be covering this thing like a hawk, giving all the updates on it. This is going to be massive, because this is Sonic Generations. This isn't just some other Sonic game. This is a very big, beloved Sonic game, and with the track record of Sega's, you know, remasters in the past with some of their Sonic titles, like the two we've mentioned, they weren't the best, and I know we've discussed that already. And just because, like, according to Zippo, they're like emphasizing them to do better jobs at the remasters, it's not a guarantee that it will be, you know, an improvement. It's very hard actually to improve a game like Generations. Obviously there's stuff to add, which will just add to the content of it, which will be great. So I think if they do make Shadow a playable character, just have overall content featuring Shadow, that's going to be amazing. But what could this game actually hold? I don't think, honestly, we should expect anything too crazy. I know a lot of people are asking for a different era, you know, of levels, which would be awesome, but I don't see that happening, unfortunately. So that would include stuff like, you know, Forces and maybe Frontiers and some other stuff, but I don't see that occurring, unfortunately. I think this is going to be a pretty standard, like, remaster with some added features similar to Colors Ultimate, to where the base game is pretty much the same, but they have some new modes maybe, a lot of content, like we said, featuring Shadow, whether that is him playable or missions featuring him or what have you, but I wouldn't expect anything too crazy, like an extension or anything like that. I don't think they're going to go all the way out with that. Like they said, this is going to be releasing very soon, and I think that is very good to have a Sonic game, like a proper Sonic game, early on into like the new year, not really new year, but at least 2024 as a whole, to hold us over a bit, because like I said in videos this year is very front end and back end heavy. We had Sonic Prime Season 3 already, we're going to be getting the Knuckles show very soon, and then towards the tail end of the year we have Sonic Movie 3 and that supposed Sonic and Shadow game that will be brand new that we're going to hear about at some point. When that will be announced, I'm pretty safe on saying that it's going to happen out of Sonic Central. If this is going to be dropping in June around Sonic's birthday, at least early on into the year, that's what I would personally expect. So don't worry, I'm pretty sure that we're going to be getting like a new Sonic game later this year, like Zippo said. I believe him on that front. But let's just say hypothetically this is the new game and only game of this year for consoles. A little disappointed in that, but I don't think that's the case, so don't worry. This is big. This is big. I mean, we were expecting a new Sonic remaster at some point, but I think this was the time to do so, get something out early on into the year to not only ride like the coattails of the movie 3, but also the shows that have been releasing while Sonic's hot, get something out while Prime is like still in people's like subconscious, and the Knuckles show, it's going to be pretty close to that by the time that wraps up too, so very smart decision on that front as well. I think it's a pretty safe game as well to do a remaster of, like we've talked about. Generations, like I don't know anybody who doesn't like Generations. It's like it's Generations. The only thing that could mess this up is if Sega messes this up. I really don't have that much else to say because like my adrenaline is pumping so much that like I just really want to pass this over and ask what you guys think. What do you think about this Sonic Generations remaster coming to consoles very, very soon? We have multiple sources leaking this thing. It's all but confirmed at this point. For the PlayStation State of Play coming on Wednesday, I can't be more excited for this thing. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Feel free to follow my social media links on my Twitter and Instagram in the section below. You can follow those by links on my life, which I to all things Sonic the Hedgehog. But most importantly, if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. This is the #1 destination on YouTube for all things Sonic. Whether it's video games, TV shows, movies, comics, merchandise, and more, we talk about it all. Yeah, strap in guys, this is the spot to be. Everything. We're going to be covering this game, so for all updates on Sonic Generations Ultimate, this is going to be the place. I love you guys so much. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Wonder what you want right now, wonder what you want right now. Used to be body by, used to be body by.